Toy Story 5 has the potential to be one of Pixar's best animated films ever. But do you actually know some incredible things about this movie that's hitting theaters in June? Buzz Lightyear. One of the biggest new elements in Pixar's next toy adventure is that there will be an entire army of Buzz Lightyear figures, and everything suggests they'll be completely wild and hilarious. They're called Multi-Buzz, and they were one of the first details about this movie to be revealed. But here's the funny part, this isn't the first time we've seen multiple Buzz Lightyears in a film from this franchise. After all, in Toy Story 2, we also see huge rows filled with Buzz Lightyear toys. The difference is that most of them aren't activated, but we do get to see another Buzz Lightyear turned on in that movie. In other words, Toy Story 5 is just taking an idea that already existed and pushing it to a whole new level, with an entire army of Buzz Lightyears breaking free. Pretty interesting, right? But this is just the first of the 12 amazing facts you didn't know about Toy Story 5. So grab your popcorn and get comfy on the couch. Another Cinewave is starting. Atlas. Just like in every Toy Story movie, several new toys are going to appear, and one of them is a small hippopotamus named Atlas. He showed up in promotional materials for the film. However, his appearances don't stop there. It's actually kind of funny to say this, but Atlas appeared in another Pixar movie even before showing up in Toy Story. In this case, we're talking about Hoppers, another amazing and very creative animated film. Atlas can be seen in Mabel's bedroom, the main character, as just another toy among many. Not many people know this, but Pixar and Disney projects in general love to include references to movies that haven't even been released yet. Just think about that scene in Zootopia where there's a reference to Moana, even though the movie hadn't been released at that point. It's their way of playing with us, since we're always excited about upcoming releases, and also a way of saying good luck to their future productions. Younger sibling. In all of Bonnie's appearances so far, it's been made clear that she's an only child. However, it looks like that might change in Toy Story 5, because there's a good chance the little girl now has a younger sibling. The main clue comes from one of the new toys that will appear, Smarty Pants, which is shaped like a roll of toilet paper and is designed to teach very young children how to use the potty. The thing is, it doesn't really make sense if this toy belongs to Bonnie, because even though she's still a kid, she's already too old to need a toy that teaches potty training. Bonnie definitely knows how to use the bathroom on her own. Everything starts to make sense if this toy doesn't actually belong to Bonnie, but instead to her younger sibling, who was born between the previous movie and this one. Bonnie's age. It looks like Bonnie will be even more important in Toy Story 5 than she was in the fourth movie, since Jessie and her friend's main mission will be to stop the Lilyad tablet from negatively affecting the girl, a goal that's going to be very hard to achieve. But did you notice that Bonnie is older than she was in Toy Story 4? The reason is simple. In the movie's universe, a few years have passed since the events of the previous adventure, which ended with Woody leaving and Jessie becoming the new leader of the toys. Bonnie was only 6 years old in Toy Story 4, but now she seems to be around 8 or 9 years old, which means she has had Andy's toys for quite a long time. Knowing this, it's going to be even sadder when Bonnie stops playing with her toys because she's hooked on using the lily pad. So tell us, are you also excited to watch Toy Story 5? If so, comment down below #Bonnie. Useful toys. It's very clear that Toy Story 5 will explore the evolution of technological devices and how we've started to view them in recent years. In the past, kids could have fun with simple toys that didn't have any real function, but that has changed, and the new toys in the movie represent this, with all of them having some kind of practical use. Nowadays, most kids prefer electronic devices to play games and watch videos. Because of that, even toys have started to gain their own functions, almost like they're electronic devices too, which we clearly see in Toy Story 5. Atlas is a hippopotamus, but he also works as a GPS. Snappy is literally a camera. Smarty Pants teaches kids how to use the bathroom. See how all of them need to be useful? And that shows how, in our current society, everything needs to have some kind of purpose to deserve to exist. Even toys. Yep, Pixar is still delivering some pretty strong commentary in its movies. Snappy. Speaking of Snappy, did you know she might be the only one capable of defeating Lilyad? It may sound a bit absurd since she's just a camera, but that's exactly why. There's a Toy Story 5 poster where Lilyad is recording Jessie, Woody, and Buzz Lightyear, and that led many people to theorize that the tablet will record them moving in the movie and use that as blackmail. With that footage, Lilyad could reveal the toy's biggest secret to humans if Jessie's group keeps going against her, and there wouldn't be much they could do about it. But that's where Snappy comes in. Since she's a camera, she could also record Lilyad moving, proving that tablets have a life of their own too. That would stop Lilyad from blackmailing the toys, because now both sides could expose each other. Combat Carl. Even lesser known characters will return to the franchise in Toy Story 5, and that's exactly the case with Combat Carl. He's a soldier toy who has appeared in several productions: the first Toy Story, some shorts, and Toy Story 4. The poor guy rarely gets any spotlight, but it's been confirmed that he'll appear in Toy Story 5. Now we just have to wait and see whether Combat Carl will play an important role this time, or if he'll show up only as a background character or a joke. It would be surprising if, among all these new characters, he ended up being important to the movie's story. However, it would also be a very interesting idea, since this is a film where classic toys are competing for attention against electronic devices and tech-driven toys. Having an old toy that never had much relevance, like Combat Carl, steal the spotlight would be a great way to show that classic toys still have value. The car scene. Toy Story 5 is packed with nostalgia from the earlier movies in the saga, and that becomes clear when Woody returns to help his old friends defeat Lilyad. But the moment where that nostalgia really hits hard is the scene where Woody and Buzz hang onto the back of a car, because it closely mirrors the final scene of the first Toy Story, where they jump onto the moving truck. Kids who haven't seen the original movie probably won't even notice this, but those who have, and adults who watched it when they were younger, will get that strong feeling of deja vu if they don't immediately remember what this moment in Toy Story 5 is referencing. It's amazing to see how the production team pays attention to details like this. The subscribe button is right there, waiting for you. How about clicking and keeping up with everything we post? Andy's dad. In the first 3 movies of the franchise, the owner of Woody and the other toys was Andy, a little boy who loved playing cowboy and coming up with all kinds of creative games. As the films went on, we saw him grow up into an adult and donate his toys to Bonnie before heading off to college. However, one thing we never saw was his father. His mom and his sister Molly appeared, but what about his dad? He simply never showed up, as if he didn't exist or wasn't present in Andy's life. The truth is, this was never explained, and it left fans to come up with their own theories. Some believe Andy's father passed away before the events of the first movie, while others think his parents may have divorced, which is very common. Andy's mom. There's also something very curious about Andy's mom. She appeared a few times in the movies and seems like a perfectly normal mother, but her face looks a lot like another Pixar character, Riley from Inside Out. The resemblance between the two is so strong that fans quickly noticed it. This ended up strengthening the theory that all Pixar movies take place in the same universe. Many people who believe in this theory also think that Andy's mom is actually Riley herself, several years older, which would mean that Toy Story takes place many years after the events of Inside Out. This theory is definitely very controversial, with many people believing it and many others thinking it makes no sense at all, and that it would be impossible for Pixar artists to have planned something like this. Do you think this makes any sense, or in your opinion, is this idea too absurd to be true? Bonnie's classmate. Interestingly, there's another character in Toy Story that supports the Pixar shared universe theory. This time we're talking about one of Bonnie's classmates from the daycare she attends. At first glance, this little girl seems like just another background character, but the truth is that she looks strangely similar to Boo, the little girl from Monsters, Inc. Seriously, the resemblance is so strong that we have to admit it can't be a coincidence. Because of this and other clues, many people believe Pixar movies really do take place in the same universe, but maybe this is just an Easter egg meant to play with fans of Monsters, Inc. So what do you think is the truth about Bonnie's mysterious classmate? Is there any chance she could have a bigger role in Toy Story 5 and reveal that she really was Boo all along, proving the fan theories right? That would definitely be one of Pixar's biggest plot twists ever. Bo Peep. Bo Peep was very important in Toy Story 4, and also made a brief appearance in the Toy Story 5 trailer, even though no one knows if she'll be relevant in the new adventure. But something many people forget is that Woody's girlfriend didn't appear in Toy Story 3, and fans really missed her. In fact, that's exactly why she had such an important role in the 4th movie, with her presence being essential for Woody to make the decision to become a toy without an owner. The fun doesn't stop here. There are 2 amazing videos waiting for you on the screen. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.